The NBA playoffs are the pinnacle of basketball. The best teams in the league are locked in an intense battle to get to the ultimate goal, an NBA championship. But getting to that goal is a long road that requires playing a full 82-game season, which is now filled with the biggest stars in the league taking nights off regularly for load management. Fans have become tired and bored of seeing the regular season become less and less entertaining. And in the past 4 years, NBA regular season viewership numbers have been some of the lowest recorded in almost 30 years. The NBA knew something needed to change, and what they came up with just might save the NBA's regular season by bringing some of that playoff level of intensity to the new NBA in-season tournament. The NBA in-season tournament will take place from November 3rd through December 9th, and it contains two main stages. First, group play, and second, the knockout rounds. First, we have group play. All 30 teams have been drawn randomly into groups of 5 based on their conference and the win-loss records on the 2022 to 2023 regular season. This makes for 3 groups in the West and 3 groups in the East. In the West, Group A is the Memphis Grizzlies, Phoenix Suns, Los Angeles Lakers, Utah Jazz, and Portland Trail Blazers. The West Group B is the Denver Nuggets, Los Angeles Clippers, New Orleans Pelicans, Dallas Mavericks, and Houston Rockets. And in Group C, we have the Sacramento Kings, Golden State Warriors, Minnesota Timberwolves, Oklahoma City Thunder, and San Antonio Spurs. Taking a quick look at the West, A would be pretty competitive, having the Memphis Grizzlies, Phoenix Suns, and the Los Angeles Lakers. Most likely, one of those teams will win in that group. Looking at Group B, we have the Denver Nuggets, Los Angeles Clippers, New Orleans Pelicans, if Zion is healthy, and then the Dallas Mavericks all having a fighting chance. Because quite honestly, I don't think that Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks are going to make it from the Rockets. And looking at Group C, it looks like the Warriors or maybe the Kings have a chance to make it out there. And taking a look at the East, in Group A, we have the Philadelphia 76ers, Cleveland Cavaliers, Atlanta Hawks, Indiana Pacers, and Detroit Pistons. In Group B, we have the Milwaukee Bucks, New York Knicks, Miami Heat, Washington Wizards, and Charlotte Hornets. And lastly, Group C is going to be the Boston Celtics, Brooklyn Nets, Toronto Raptors, Chicago Bulls, and Orlando Magic. In Group A, I would probably take the 76ers, with the Cavs maybe having a chance there. In Group B, I would take the Bucks or the Heat, but we all saw what Jimmy Butler did to my Milwaukee Bucks team in the playoffs. And in Group C, I think it's pretty obvious that the Celtics are going to win there. 8 teams will advance to the next phase of the in-season tournament, the knockout rounds. The teams that advance are the 6 winners of each of their groups, and 2 wildcard teams, which are the teams from each conference with the best record in the group play games that finish second in their group. The knockout rounds will be single elimination games in the quarterfinals, semifinals, and championship, featuring a team from the East and the West. All of the games in this in-season tournament still count for the regular season, except for the championship game. After all of these complicated rules about the in-season tournament came out, there was a backlash from NBA fans. People were calling the in-season tournament pointless. They were saying that nobody wants this, nobody cares about this, and that no player will even want this. Who wants to be the in-season tournament champ? Which actually might be a good point, because I'm not sure how many players will really care about that versus the Larry O'Brien trophy and winning a real NBA championship. Believe it or not, NBA Twitter is wrong occasionally. The introduction of this reminded me of when they first announced the play-in tournament for the playoffs. The play-in tournament originally got very heavy criticism, with many people calling it stupid, dumb, criticizing Adam Silver. Luka Doncic even questioned how fair it was, and Mark Cuban called it an enormous mistake. But the ratings simply don't lie. In 2021, the Wizards-Celtics NBA play-in tournament game averaged 2.5 million viewers on TNT, which was the largest NBA audience on any network since the Nets-Warriors game on Christmas Day. The play-in tournament adds a competitive aspect into the NBA, and I think that the in-season tournament could do that as well, and also in a time that we really need it in the regular season. No, I don't think that the most valuable player of the in-season tournament or the all-tournament team will matter to the players. I don't think that if LeBron wins an in-season tournament, it will be used as an argument as why he's the greatest player of all time over MJ. But this tournament gives teams that normally wouldn't have a chance in the playoffs a real shot. In the playoffs, the better team almost always wins in a 7-game series. Well, except if you're Jimmy Butler in the first round of the 2023 playoffs. The in-season tournament could match up perfectly with a team that's on a hot streak, and you could see a magical run happen. It's almost like watching a 16 seed beat the number 1 in March Madness. If your team has been struggling for years to find any success, this in-season tournament could be a way to do that, to find just a glimpse of hope. And anything that allows us to watch more competitive basketball games is a good thing. Maybe a team that just fell short of winning the in-season tournament finds out that they need a different piece on their team, or that someone isn't a good fit in a playoff type of rotation. That team can make a trade because the in-season tournament will happen before the trade deadline. Whatever the in-season tournament brings, I'm excited to see the NBA make things interesting, and it's great to see them adding another piece into the game that we all love.